Welcome into the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. My name is Tanner Kern, certified G, bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is G Money Grant Mitchell. We are here breaking down last night's Bills game. We're talking about the Week 12 Sunday slate, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, man, the people in the room. G Money Grant Mitchell, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, Tanner. I completely whiffed on the Thursday night prediction. I thought the Bills were going to win that game easily, but I did get all four of my player props correct. So I don't know how you feel about this. I'm happy I made the money, but I almost feel like it's more important for me to get the game right because I feel like I could say what happened, even though I turned a profit. But I don't know. You can't complain when you make money in sports betting, I guess.
The game is all I care about. Like, I don't care about the props as much. Like, I want to get the game right usually. And last night I didn't get it right. Nick Chubb too, 6 for 16 last night. Like, I don't know how he didn't go over 20. He had like 15 in the first half.
His first carry was 12, I think.
Yes, I have no clue how he didn't get over 20 yards last night. Just a bad performance from the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's a little whiny, bitch. He's not very good. Like, I know, like he's good against bad defenses. That's how I'll say it. Like the Bills are not good overall. I don't know how they went from a contending team to where they are now because they're not even close. Like this Patriots team that was an 8-point underdog against them in Buffalo, like they should have been an 8-point favorite. The Patriots are 10 times better than the Bills.
You know what's funny? We got a comment on one of our recent videos that the top comment was Josh Allen is underrated. I was like, underrated. He won an MVP out of pity, out of sympathy. He's actually probably the most overrated player in the NFL and has been for a long time. He's good, but like he's been in that Mahomes tier. The Bills have been Super Bowl favorites, and it's not been warranted. He's not at that level.
He's not good. Like he's last night was the prime example because when things are going wrong, there's just no ability to shake it. And I don't want to blame all Josh Allen. Like, they don't have a lot of weapons. They also, the pick was dumb, though. Khalil Shakur fumbling was dumb. Like, they gave them 6 points right away off that. And the Bills defense, like, say what you want about them in the first half, they stepped up in the second half. They played pretty damn well. So there was really no excuse why the Bills did not win that football game. You needed one touchdown to win the game, and you had multiple opportunities to do it. Bad play calling, bad quarterback play, not a lot of skill talent. Like, the best player on the team is James Cook. Other than that, they don't have a lot.
Tell me what you think of this, of these three players. I think they're very similar. I think Dak, Herbert, and Allen are like all same beast, different animal because they're all like they'll all when they're playing great, it's like, oh my God, this is the best quarterback in the league. They're putting up massive numbers. They're MVP candidates. But when you look at like a Mahomes, I guess I would still put Lamar in there. Like, they're also in that MVP tier, but their lows are not as low. Like, you can still win with them having low games. When Dak is off, when Allen is off, when Herbert is off, it's like they're going to lose the game, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, like last week for the Chiefs was a game where like Patrick Mahomes was off. Throw the pick in the red zone, you missed multiple deep shots. But like that was not a bad game by him. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a good game. That's kind of like a bad game for him. Where Josh, it's like he looks like he doesn't know how to play football. I can't put Josh into the category with Justin Herbert, though. Like, I think you can count on one hand how many times Justin Herbert's played well in his career. Like, Justin Herbert does not play well a lot. Like, so I don't want to group Josh Allen's.
There's no bigger Justin Herbert hater than you.
He's just not good. Like, truthfully, Justin Herbert, if I'm building around one quarterback, it's not going to be Justin Herbert. Josh Allen, if you put some weapons around him, he's going to be pretty good. He tries to do too much, though, when things go wrong. That's another issue for him. Who was the other quarterback you had in there?
Dak. Dak.
I think Dak's the most consistent out of all of them.
I don't know. Like, Dak is, even Dak this year, the Bears game, he just randomly chucks up 2 interceptions, like no touchdowns when he was in the middle of his MVP run. That's prime Dak. That's also prime Cowboys. They have this horrible game when you least expect it.
Even Josh last week, though, like the turnovers he had last week were like the one to start the game on the 5-yard line. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't want to say he's lucky he had 6 touchdowns because having 6 touchdowns is pretty amazing. But those 2 turnovers came early in the game and they were both bad. It's like, that was weird. Why did that just happen? It looked like the Bucs were set up to win, and then the Bills just turned it on.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs just don't have the defense to compete. Like, that's the problem. Josh Allen became Superman. Last night, he was Robin, right? Batman Robin. He's
Yeah.
Robin. Yeah, like he just wasn't good last night. And the problem is for me too, stop whining. What are you doing? Go make a play. Don't throw your helmet. Go make a play. And and also the play calling, the 4th and 1 play call in the fourth quarter when they run a slow developing counter with James Cook against a legit front seven when your offensive line's getting blown up all night. What are you doing? Like, I don't understand. Last week they let Josh Allen go be Superman. Why aren't you letting him run the football this week? Like, I don't get it.
Josh is definitely creeping up there for like he's
Diva.
starting to become like the Harden or Luka of the NFL. He's flopping. I know you see the replays on Twitter and stuff where someone will like barely touch him and it'll flop like this. He's becoming pretty annoying to watch.
Oh yeah, he's so annoying. I hate Josh Allen. I don't want Josh Allen to ever win a Super Bowl. I don't want the Bills to ever win a Super Bowl. I hate the whole franchise. Like, give me Lamar. And I don't like Lamar that much. You know that. I mean, I've come around to Lamar, but like Josh is it's just there's too much high and low with Josh Allen. And he got a Mickey Mouse MVP last year.
When Lamar was better in literally every way. We were talking about this before we started recording. The Bills down to 12-1 to win the Super Bowl. That's the lowest I can remember them in years, honestly. Ever since really Josh Allen has sort of ascended, I can't remember them being this low.
They have a 0% chance of winning the Super Bowl right now. Like, literally zero. They have maybe a 0.0001% chance of winning the AFC, but I don't know who's going to win the AFC when you really look at it. Like, the Colts are good. I think the Colts are going to get smacked by the Chiefs. We're going to talk about that game here in a little bit. The Broncos are good. Can Bo Nix really go to the Super Bowl? The Bills are third right now, and Bills can win the AFC. Josh Allen can go off in 2 or 3 games and they can win the AFC, but like he needs to go off because the team around him is not very good. The Chiefs, if they make it, but like last night's loss for the Bills hurts the Chiefs because now the Houston Texans are 6-5 and they have a tiebreaker over the Chiefs, right? So it's just a really tough spot for Kansas City. The Patriots at 6-1, the Ravens at 6-1. Like, this realistically could be the Ravens here still.
You know what's funny about the Super Bowl odds? Just looking at to see the Rams listed at the top of the page, and they're tied with the Eagles. They're both 5-1, but it's so for the last 5-6 years, however long, you've had the Chiefs up there, you've had the Eagles up there. Sometimes you'll have the Lions early on in this sort of storyline. You would have the 49ers. This is the Ravens as well, the Bills. This is the first time we've had a new team actually up there. And it's nice to see because we've been talking about the Rams all year, but the odds makers are finally confirming it that there is a new team. And then also you've got the Colts at third.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy right now. But, I can't picture Daniel Jones getting it done. I can't picture Bo Nix getting it done. I'd like Josh Allen can go off, but I still don't think they're very good. The Chiefs are the Chiefs if they get in. The Patriots, Drake May is obviously great. Baltimore, out of all these teams too, just right now in the hunt, it's got to be an NFC team that wins the Super Bowl. It's got to be the Rams. It's got to be the Eagles. Potentially the Lions. Like, this is a good year for the Lions to get it done too, just because if you can get through the NFC, you probably beat the AFC in the Super Bowl. It's a trash year for the AFC.
It is, but also it's funny because the Packers were like second in Super Bowl odds this year. Now they're below the Bills, the Ravens, the Broncos. They're down there at 15-1. The Bucks, who we talked about a lot, they're 30-1. It's not just a down year for the AFC. It's a down year for some of the top NFC teams as well. It's just there's so much depth in the NFC right now that it's kind of raising the whole conference.
By the way, just want to say, because you brought up a couple teams that are playing on Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving's the easiest parlay in the world.
Okay. What you got?
Parlay. Lions, Chiefs, Eagles. Lions are going to smack the Packers, destroy them. The Chiefs are going to beat the Cowboys, last second field goal. Who knows? And then the Eagles are going to smack the Bears. Just destroy. Plus 218.
Plus 218. You already got this. You've already got the odds and everything.
Lock it in right now. Anyways, go back to what you're saying, Grant.
Well, no, I think this is a good transition because speaking of locking it in, Tanner, no better time to lock in some picks than with the NFL weekend approaching. And you can do that by going over to WSN.com, where you're going to get picks from Tanner, myself, and a team of experts. We also got promo codes for all of the big sports books. That can be up to $2,000 in value of bonuses at Fanatics. Bet to win, guaranteed. Doesn't matter the outcome of the bet, win or lose at Bet365, Safety Nets at BetMGM, FanDuel, all the big sports books. We got it all there for you at WSN.com.
Yep. So make sure you guys check out WSN.com. Also subscribe to the podcast, Ride the Line here. We're on every Tuesday and Friday. We're also posting clips throughout the week. The pod is growing, so make sure you guys grow with us and smash that subscribe button. Turn post notifications on so you never miss a video. Grant, we got a big one to start the slate off. This is pretty much a playoff game for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to host the Indianapolis Colts. They're a 3.5-point favorite. Total set at 49.5. I think we can throw it all aside and just comes down to who's going to win this game. I think that's the first topic to talk about here. Are the Chiefs going to beat the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday? What are your thoughts?
So the Chiefs had their first 3-game losing streak in the Mahomes era earlier this year because they lost the Super Bowl, roll it over, start the year 0-2. This would be their second 3-game losing streak, I guess, of the last 2 combined seasons, really this season plus 1 game from last year. It's tough, man, because you lose to the Bills. It's like, whatever. Like, okay, we're kind of big brother to them. We'll beat them in the playoffs. Then you lose to the Broncos coming off a bye, which was very unexpected. We were both on the Chiefs to cover the spread in that game, and they didn't. Now it's actually the Colts coming off of a bye. You would expect Sauce Gardner to be more integrated. So really, I think there's a lot of reason to bet the Colts. But with that being said, it's just if the Chiefs were to lose this game, they're essentially done in the playoffs. Maybe not fully mathematically, but in my mind, they're pretty much out of it. And I just don't see them going out sad. So I think the Chiefs are going to win. Like, I think they're just going to lean on Mahomes and Kelsey and read the fabric of what's made them a championship team for all these years. But I'm also not going to lie and say that that's maybe the expected outcome just with the way that things have happened this year.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs should win the game, obviously. I do think they're a better team if Patrick Mahomes is playing to his capability, if they're getting the ball to Rashee Rice. But you got to stop the run game with the Indianapolis Colts. And that's actually an area where the Chiefs defense has been solid. Like, the Chiefs defense has kept them in a lot of games this year. So I do think they're going to give the Colts fits up front. This is a spot where this is a game served on a silver platter. Chiefs, you got to win it. You're at home. If they don't win it, I would be shocked. Like, if I'm putting a scale out there, 0 out of 10, how shocked I'd be if they lost. I would say 10 out of 10 for sure.
Well, if they are going to win this game, like we both expect, it's not going to be done because of Kareem Hunt. It's not going to be done because of Isaiah Pacheco. It's going to be because of Patrick Mahomes, which leads me into my first player prop for this game. Been having a lot of good success on player props lately, so let's see if that streak continues. I'll take Mahomes over 36.5 passing attempts. Now, that is a lot. That's minimum 37. That's just a lot. But you look at his recent games, 45 against the Broncos. Before that, 34 against the Bills. He only completed 15 passes in that game. So if he completed 20 and just like extended drives a little, I think he can easily get that 34 becomes 37. We get over this line. 34 against the Commanders, where he didn't have to throw the ball in the fourth quarter. You just kind of run through the list here. And I get it. There are still a lot of unders, but you've also got 39, 37, 37, 41 to start the year. So this style of game where the Colts are going to score points because that's what they do. And with it being as desperate a spot as Mahomes has ever been in his entire NFL career, he's never been in a spot where he's had to be this desperate before. So I think he is throwing it 42 to 45 times in this game, and he goes over.
My fear there, and my fear with all Patrick Mahomes passing props, I do think like they're going to come out and throw the ball. You know, I don't know if you saw the press conference this week where Andy Reid was saying that, you know, we have a lot of designed run, or we have a lot of RPO stuff that Pat's throwing the ball, and maybe we should call some more designed runs. Like, I don't believe that one bit. I think they're going to come out and throw the ball. My fear with any Mahomes passing prop in this game, if the Colts do get their run game going in any capacity, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for the Chiefs to have a lot of time of possession. So that would just be my biggest fear if the Colts can run the ball. I don't expect the Colts to be able to run the ball. I think if like you look at what the Chiefs did against Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl, they're going to be able to do the same thing to Jonathan Taylor, or that's what they're going to try to do. Like they're going to put this game in Daniel Jones's hand. So that kind of leads me to my first prop here in the sense of I'm taking Daniel Jones to go over his passing line right now of 241.5. And the biggest reason for this is the fact that if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm putting all this pressure. If I'm Steve Spagnuolo, every ounce of pressure is going on Daniel Jones here. I'm not letting Jonathan Taylor beat me. I'm loading up the box. Make Daniel Jones make throws in this football game. And if they do that, it's going to lead to bulk, and he should go get close at least 241.5 passing yards.
So I agree with everything you said. And for that same reason, I also have a Daniel Jones prop. It's going to be for him to throw an interception because he has thrown 4 in the last 2 weeks. I'm with you. I think we're seeing 35-ish passing attempts, something like from Daniel Jones. Heck, Jonathan Taylor might still hit 100 yards, but if it takes him 3.5 yards per carry to get there, third down, let's say you're backed up on a 3rd and 8, Daniel Jones is going to be in those sorts of situations. And Spags does as good a job as anybody as disguising where the blitz is coming from. Daniel Jones, we're seeing it with Daniel Jones. We're seeing it with Sam Darnold. Like these quarterbacks who have, quote unquote, resurrected their careers. When they get to these big moments against these really good teams, they revert. They go back to that pumpkin mode. You see it, Darnold, 4 interceptions the other week. Again, like I said, Daniel Jones had 5 turnovers against the Steelers. So I think we kind of hit that point in the season, big spot. Look for Spags to turn up the pressure, and Chiefs get a pick off them.
How about Patrick Mahomes to not throw an interception? I kind of like that too. Because
what kind of odds we getting on that?
-115.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, like last week, you had the Patrick Mahomes interception, which he never even should have thrown that football. Like, should just throw it out of bounds. So I don't even know why he forced it. This week, if he doesn't force the football, I think like if you're going to get a Patrick Mahomes pick, it's going to be a tipper and overthrow this week because he needs to be dialed into a point where he should not be throwing the ball in the wrong area of the field. He's not going to get confused. It's Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't get confused. Also, too, the Colts defense, they're not even close to what they saw last week with the Broncos defense. That's a different beast. So I do think Patrick Mahomes is going to be in a spot where he can have success here. And if he throws a pick on his own merit, I'd be very surprised.
My final one, I'll take Kareem Hunt, anytime touchdown scorer. He's just their goal line back. That's all it is. He's scored in 3 straight games. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns plus a receiving touchdown this season. He's scored in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his last 8, 5 of his last 7, 5 of his last 8. It's just anytime they get near the goal line, the ball's going in his belly. That's all it is. So, yeah.
I like it. 1 touchdown prop for me, Rashee Rice. No coincidence. The Chiefs have lost their past 2 games. He has not scored in their past 2 games.
They're not going fast enough.
They're not going fast enough. Yeah, that's right. You need to get it. You go at 90, 100 miles an hour like Georgia Bulldogs. I'm surprised he didn't go to Georgia. Like, I think that would have been a really good home for him.
He's an SMU Mustang. He's born to run free, run wild.
They go fast down there too. I wonder, speaking of Georgia, I wonder how fast they're driving their cars this week. Like they're playing a 1AA school. They got nothing to worry about. I wonder how fast they must be out racing all night down in Georgia and Athens.
Do you think? I think it might be the opposite. I think they might be bored. Like this game isn't worth speeding over. We got to just hang out in the dorms.
They practice. When Kirby gets them going, when it's time to get going, Kirby gets them right. They don't have to practice this week. They're just racing cars. It's like they're getting ready for the Athens Grand Prix.
This is so off topic. I was watching this guy interview a bunch of illegal street racers and stuff like that, and they had like masks on and everything, and they distorted the audio, but he was actually interviewing them, and like they would just go out in traffic. They're the guys who drive like 120 miles an hour, weaving in through traffic and stuff like that. And he was talking to them and basically saying, "Hey, what do you think do you think this is safe? Do you enjoy doing this?" They're like, "No, we're just addicted to adrenaline. We actually don't really want to do it. We are hoping that they're able to create some sort of racing team for like non-racing professionals, but like how you could go to a gym and shoot a basketball, or you can go to a soccer field and kick a soccer. They want a public racetrack for people to just go drive, so they don't do it out like that. And that could be where the Georgia Bulldogs go."
Was Rashee racing though, or are they just like going fast?
No, they were just going fast.
They were just going fast. The Bulldogs like to race a little bit.
Yes, they like to race.
They like to race. Kirby likes it. Kirby likes them competing on and off the field, though. That's the thing.
Did you see? Oh gosh, who were they? Did you see the old clip? It was because Peyton Manning was at the Texas-Georgia game. They showed a clip of Kirby intercepting Peyton back in college. I thought that was awesome.
Where did Kirby play at?
He was a safety at Georgia.
Really?
Yeah. And he got a pick on Peyton at Tennessee.
Really? I didn't know that. Kirby's chunky now.
He is chunky. He's
chunker.
Small too. He's like 5'8".
I didn't know Kirby played at Georgia. Was he a scholarship guy?
I don't know, but he's like top 5 all time for interceptions for them or something like that.
I did not know that he played there. So no wonder he's got that program cooking if he played there too. Like, Kirby's,
yeah, it's in his blood.
Yeah, it's in his blood. I wonder if he raced when he was in college. Little Mustang. But anyways, yeah. So Rashee Rice scored a touchdown. He has not scored his past 2 games. The Chiefs have lost their past 2 games. You got to get him the ball around the goal line. He's your most dynamic player, and I think he's going to score here.
We good to move on to the next one?
Yep, take us into it.
Big game here, and Tanner and I are about to break it down, tell you about the best player props from the Philadelphia Eagles going against the Dallas Cowboys, a rematch of the first game of this NFL season. On the Eagles side of things, A.J. Brown hates absolutely everybody and everything. He hates Jalen Hurts. He hates Saquon Barkley. He hates his coordinators. He hates his coaches. He hates the city of Philadelphia. On the other, Dak and the Cowboys getting the good feelings back, blowing out a garbage can Raiders team. But Quinnen Williams is there. Logan Wilson is there trying to reinvent the defense. When this game was played in week 1, the line was moving back and forth between 6.5, 7 points in favor of the Eagles. It was in Philadelphia. The Cowboys covered in that game. Now it's back in Jerry World, and you got the Eagles favored by 3.5 points on the road. Tanner, how you see this one playing out?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it on the show on Tuesday. I'm going to be on the Dallas Cowboys here at plus 3.5. I don't love it. I think it's a risky play because you get the situation where the Eagles just make another quarterback look bad. But I don't think that's going to be the case for Dak. Dak's seen the Philadelphia Eagles enough this season in just overall in his career. Obviously, you know, they did cover, I think, their first game against them. So I think the Eagles defense is going to not come back to earth here, but the Cowboys know how to neutralize it a little bit. Dak knows what he's dealing with here. It's in Jerry's world. The Cowboys have some momentum coming off the big win against the Raiders, spot where I think the Eagles can win by 3, but I do think it's going to be a tight game. So I'll take the Cowboys to cover.
Yeah, you convinced me. Well, I shouldn't say you convinced me. You sold me on it earlier this week. And then I went into it and I dove into the numbers and everything. And I'm with you. I do think the Cowboys will cover in this game. And the way the season has gone for the Eagles, they could win 9-6 and they could win and not cover. It could be something stupid like that. Or it could also be Jalen Hurts has 300 yards against Brian Flores' defense when nobody's expecting it. Like, it could be Dak has this incredible game, but Jalen Hurts randomly has his best game of the season too, and they win 35-34. It does just shape up like a game that should be close.
Like, A.J. Brown should have a big game here. Like, Devontae Smith should have a big game. Jalen Hurts should be able to throw the ball, but like, if you can't do it week in and week out, and you don't need to do it week in and week out, I just don't think you turn it on here. Like that's kind of where I'm at. And I think I think A.J. Brown's going to have a better game this week than he's had, obviously, because he's going against the Dallas Cowboys secondary. But the pass rush for the Cowboys now is a little better. So that's another thing to worry about. And if I'm Philly, I also think too, they play really good complementary football. They don't let the offense mess up when the defense is cooking. Like last week, they probably could have tried to put more points up against the Lions, and they might have been successful doing it, but there was really no reason to do it because the defense was abusing Jared Goff the entire night. So it's like run a couple plays, throw a screen, punt, just play defense. That's kind of how they've built. Yeah,
you're right. The only problem with that is there's a very thin margin of error. And so if they didn't have their talent that they do, I think that would not work at all. But they do have that talent. So it hasn't come back to bite them.
Yes, they do. I mean, they're a good football team. But I don't look at them as a Super Bowl team. I didn't look at them last year until probably around this time as a Super Bowl team. Like, they started to turn it up a little bit. But if you can't score, you're going to have a lot of trouble. And like, they don't have a run game with Saquon Barkley this year. You don't have a passing game at all with Jalen Hurts. Like, offensively, they're just not there. And they can turn it up at any time. I just don't know when it's going to happen. Could happen this week. But Dallas, we know Dallas can put up points. Dallas will be able to score in this game. I don't care if against the Eagles defense, the division game, and the fact that Dak's seen the Eagles is going to negate anything Philly can do on defense. They're going to be good. They're not going to be as great as they've been, though.
Well, building off of that, my first prop from this game, I'm going to take CeeDee Lamb, not George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, over 74.5 receiving yards. You go back, you look at the opener, and hey, it was Pickens' first game there. Maybe they were still learning how to use him, but in that first game against the Eagles, Thursday Night Football, the whole world watching, CeeDee Lamb has 7 catches for 110 yards. Went under this line last week, only 66 yards. It was the Pickens show, but the game before that, he had 85. You look at his numbers overall this season, he's gone over in 4 of 6. Keeping in mind he was out with an injury for a little bit there. Also, like you said, Dak Prescott, he knows what this Eagles defense is like. And Dak is one of those guys who he's about as aggressive as you can be with throwing, making tight window throws, stuff like that. So even if the coverage is better, might make it more difficult on the receiver, but Dak's not going to turn the pass down like other quarterbacks might. And if you give CeeDee Lamb a chance to catch the football, he's one of the 5 best receivers in the whole world. He'll probably come up with it. One other big thing as well, with Pickens playing as well as he has, Quinyon Mitchell is not going to travel with CeeDee Lamb. He's going to stay on one side because Pickens and Lamb have both warranted getting the number 1 cornerback. And so just move him around. You'll be able to scheme him open.
Do we know why? Do we know why those two were benched to start the week last week?
Yeah, we do.
I didn't see that. Did they miss a meeting or something like that?
No, so they were in Vegas, and
was that true? I saw that on him. I thought that was a meme.
No, either Pickens or Lamb. I think it was Lamb said it. Yeah, he actually said that they were out at the casino drinking or something, and they
on Monday, right? On Monday in Vegas, I think it was.
Was it Monday? I thought it was Saturday or Sunday. Sorry.
I thought it was Monday. Like it wasn't. I thought it was Monday, like maybe late Sunday into early Monday, because I guess the NFL off days are Monday, Tuesday, right?
Yeah, maybe it was, but whatever it was, they were at the casino drinking.
What's wrong with that, though?
Well, I think they were out too late.
They had because I guess they were playing on Thursday night, so you really shouldn't be at the casino on a Monday.
No. So they played on Monday Night Football. And I think this happened Sunday night to Monday morning. So that would have been the day of the game.
No, really?
Or it was either day of the game or the day before that. But like they still had their game in a day or two, and they were out drinking.
CeeDee Lamb Casino. All right, curfew violation. Why did they stay? Did they stay at a casino though? That's crazy. Lamb told he and Pickens had dinner and a few drinks at Red Rock Casino the night before the meeting with the Raiders. So they had drinks at the Red Rock Casino. That's another thing too. Like the NFL is very interesting with that. I'm surprised these guys aren't locked down. Like I'm surprised it's not team dinner and get your ass to bed.
I didn't know they were allowed to even visit casinos. I thought they weren't allowed to go.
No, they can play.
I thought during the NFL season you weren't allowed to enter a casino.
I don't know. Maybe Vegas is different because all there is casinos out there to stay at. So I don't know. That's weird though. It's like, it's funny though too, like talent over everything. Like TOE. That's what you always say. TOE, talent over everything. Like, yeah, they were out missing curfew. Like, so what? Who cares? One series, run the ball 3 times, punt, and they're back on the field. Like, did that really send a message to them? Like,
that's what we were talking about with the whole Shedeur Sanders draft thing. We're like, guys, it doesn't matter how much they hate him or they hate his dad, like any of these narratives. If Shedeur was amazing, he would have gone in the first round.
Yeah, Schottenheimer is like, I'm not losing my job over them being out at the casino all night. And they went off. Like, they absolutely went off.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? What was the deal with wasn't there another situation? I had it in my brain. Wasn't there another recent suspension?
Oh, there was. What was the suspension? Are you talking about Keon Coleman, maybe?
Yeah. Why is he not playing now? Because he missed a meeting last Friday. Was he hurt the whole time?
I think they just think he sucks.
Well, because like last week it was he missed a meeting, and this week he's not dressed. So like if he truly is just like messing around, like I give Sean McDermott credit. With that being said, Khalil Shakur cannot be a number 1 wide receiver. So you got to get somebody else on the field with him.
They need to sign someone. I think they tried trading for like Amari Cooper and they had Diggs, but yeah, they need someone.
They need Diggs back. Diggs is shout out Stephon Diggs having a baby. He had the baby.
What props you got?
I am gonna go with. So you said CeeDee Lamb over the receiving yards. I like that as well. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts over the passing yards, 205.5. I think when you look at what the Cowboys added defensively to stop the run with like Quinnen Williams, I think they're going to be able to neutralize Saquon Barkley. And if we get into a situation where the Eagles or the Cowboys are scoring a little bit, like if Dak's going off, you're going to have to throw the ball with Jalen Hurts here. So I'll take Jalen Hurts over 205.5 passing yards.
So I'm going to take one, and I literally just closed out the tab that I needed. Got it back open. I am going to take Dak Prescott, no interception. Now, I get that it's risky because this Eagles defense is really good. And like I said, Dak's not going to turn down a tight window throw. He's going to thread it in there. This season, he has only thrown interceptions in 4 games, and the Cowboys, I want to say, have played 10. They have played 10. So more times than not, he is not throwing an interception. He did not throw an interception in the week 1 opener against the Eagles. And again, despite what we think about the Eagles and how great their defense is, if you look at the percentage of plays in which they have forced an interception, they are 20th in the NFL. They're at 1.8%. Just for context, the Bears lead the league at 4.9%. So good defense overall. Like, you know how we talk about their bend, don't break defenses? The Eagles are like they don't bend at all, but they're also not taking the ball away. They're just suffocating you. So with all of that, considering you're also getting plus money for this, by the way, about plus 115 odds on this, I feel like this is definitely worth the risk.
Yeah, no, I like it. My last prop here, I'm going to go Saquon Barkley over 16.5 receiving yards. Obviously, I'll take AJ Brown over everything because like eventually he's got to pop off. And if AJ Brown does not catch anything this week, like he needs to just retire. They need to get him off the team because he's not doing them any good if he can't do anything against Cowboys. But I'll take Saquon Barkley over the receiving yards, 16.5. I don't think he's going to have a great week running the football. I think they're going to have to get him involved in multiple ways. The best way is the passing game. Had only 1 catch last week for 7 yards, but we know when he gets in space, he can make people miss, and a 17-yard reception is nothing for him. 3 for 41 against the Packers. He had 4 for 24 against the Giants. So again, if you're not running the ball well, which I don't expect them to against the Cowboys, I think they're going to have to get the ball out quick, screen game, slow down this front 7, and that would lead to him going over his receiving yards.
Last one for me. I'll take Devontae Smith over 58.5 receiving yards. 1 for 8 last week against the Lions, which wasn't great, but did have 69 before that, 84 before that, 183 before that. He is the Philadelphia Eagles' number 1 receiver. Devontae Smith is the Eagles' number 1 receiver. It is not AJ Brown. They don't throw the ball his way enough. The routes aren't designed for him. It's supposed to be to Smitty. And if they want to play the style they are, like he's just better at a lot of the stuff that they lean towards. So the Cowboys' pass defense is terrible. Saquon's not gotten going, and theoretically, the Cowboys' run defense should be a lot better. Like you said, they did a number on Ashton Genty, which isn't saying much because the Raiders' offensive line is playing at a middle school level. But Quinnen Williams there should shut down Saquon. Theoretically, you're throwing the ball more if you're Philly, and that should mean more available receiving yards for the receivers.
I like it. All right. So we got a big one on Sunday Night Football. Sunday night best picks, player props, Buccaneers versus Rams here. The Buccaneers coming in as a 6.5-point underdog. They're trying to avoid another loss here. They have not been playing really good football lately. Rams are playing good football. Had a chance to lose last week, even though they pretty much dominated the game defensively. Matthew Stafford took a little bit of a step back last week. Total set at 49.5 here. Grant, what are you leaning towards in Bucs Rams on Sunday night?
Yeah, so I think the Rams are going to win this game, but I don't think the Bucs are totally out of it. And 6.5 spread, like, yeah, you're still alive. I mean, the Texans won as 5.5-point underdogs against the Bills, but still 6.5 is pretty sizable. And I get it. The Rams are phenomenal. Matthew Stafford's the MVP frontrunner. They got a top 5 defense in the NFL. I get it. They're at home. All that said, Baker and this Bucs team, they are resilient. They are tough. They do have an elite run defense, which should make sure your opponent one-dimensional. The problem is Stafford's the MVP favorite, so throwing the ball is not really great. But even still, like, the Bucs do have you know how they say like power fighters, they have one punch, they have the knockout punch, and that's it. What do they do when they don't have that? When Deontay Wilder is not connecting, what's he going to do? The Bucs are not that team. They can knock you out, but they also have other things that they can lean on. Yes, Bucky Irving's not there, and that hurts, but I do still think the Bucs will be competitive, so I would somewhat cautiously take them to cover the spread.
I think the Bucs are going to cover the spread. I think they may win outright. They have to. We're at a spot
it's possible. It's alive. Yeah.
Like, who needs this game more? It's got to be the Buccaneers. The Rams don't need it as much. The Buccaneers need it a lot more. When you look at the Buccaneers just in general, they have, let's see. So they're coming off the 44-32 loss against the Bills. They're coming off 28-23 loss to the Patriots, obviously smacked the Saints, lost to the Lions. So they've lost 3 of their past 4. This will be 4 of their past 5. The division's getting a lot tighter with the Panthers. Now, I don't think the Panthers are going to catch up to them based on what the Bucs have moving forward. Then you go Cardinals, Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins, Panthers. Like, you finish pretty easy. But this division's getting a little tight. I think if you're Baker, you got to come out and make plays here defensively. They got to hold on a little bit. I think they were embarrassed last week defensively, but a big reason they were embarrassed was just because of the big plays. Don't give up the big plays. If you make them drive the field, you're going to put yourself in a position to win, because I think the Bucs are going to be able to score points in this game. You look at last week, Sam Darnold threw 4 picks. They were still in the game. Matthew Stafford didn't have his best outing. I think the Bucs defense could do enough to confuse Stafford potentially. And I do think there's a chance they win outright. I'm not saying it's high, but when just like Baker with his back against the wall, I'm not going to bet against that.
Well, speaking of Baker here, my first player prop in this game will be Baker Mayfield going over 242.5 passing yards. He's actually gone under this line in 3 of his last 4 games. Against the Lions, with the injuries they had no hope in that one. And Baker got close. He got 228. He did throw the ball 50 times. Against the Bills, just didn't really show up. / they also scored 32 points despite him only throwing 173. That was a weird game. Against the Saints, they didn't have to throw the ball because they were up so quickly. And then the one time he went over is actually a very similar sort of game to how I think this could play out. It was a 28-23 loss to the Patriots. Patriots were moving the ball. They were creating big plays. There's pressure on the Bucs to respond. So Baker shows up with 273 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think that's kind of what's going to happen here. The Rams are going to show up. They're a very good team. Stafford, for the 3rd time now, is the MVP favorite. Stafford's going to move the ball through the air. They're going to score points. That means there will be pressure on Baker to lead his offense and score points, and he can do that, especially if he's chasing or if it's just like 7-7, 14-14, back and forth. Baker's going to keep the foot on the gas and he'll keep going for it. The Bucs are almost in a similar spot to the Chiefs. Chiefs is a little different because they're fighting for a wild card spot. Bucs can get in automatically by winning the division, but still, you lost 2 straight. There was a bye week loss in that mix. This is a spot where this is the most desperate you've been this entire season, and Baker individually has to show up. His team might still lose, but he has to show up.
Yeah, you got to make a play. If you're Baker Mayfield, you got to come out. You got to play clean football, and I think they're going to be able to do that in this game. I really do. But it's going to be a challenge. I think they're more talented overall at points. Like, obviously the Rams are fair to win the Super Bowl, but I think there's areas of the field where the Bucs can exploit them with their weapons. They have to use them correctly, and they have to play a clean game. And it's really, I'm not worried about them scoring. I'm worried about the defense. That's my biggest fear. If the defense can hold up and not give up the X plays that they did last week, I think they put themselves in a position to win the game. Yeah, I agree with you. What you got for props? So for props, got a lot cooking here. Because I love the Buccaneers, obviously. I got the Tampa Bay hat on right now. So I'm going to be high on a lot of players in this game. I think the first prop that you need to go with, Baker Mayfield over 242.5 passing yards. You look at Baker in this game. If they don't come out and throw the football effectively, they're not going to win the game. I think they're going to be in the game. That leans to Baker having a clean one himself there. Threw for 173 last week against the Bills, was not his best game. 273 against New England. And I think the biggest reason to take Baker over is because Stafford's going to put the pressure on them. We know that the Bucs are going to give up yards to the air. We know they're going to give up points. The Bucs got to come out and set the tempo offensively and throw the ball. We can't be Rashad White, Sean Tucker, play action. Like, it's got to be Baker Mayfield.
I'll give you one from the Rams side of things here. Look, Devontae Adams is amazing. He's scoring like a touchdown or more than a touchdown every game. I get it. The fact that his anytime touchdown odds are minus 150 and Puka Nacua is minus 110, kind of crazy to me. So I'll take Puka anytime touchdown score. Scored in 4 of his last 6 games. Scored in 2 of 3 since he came back from his injury. And again, Devontae's doing phenomenal work at the goal line. Like he's catching goal line fades. He's catching the one-on-one balls and everything like that. But look, last week, he had 1 catch on 1 target for 1 yard, and it happened to be a touchdown against the Seahawks. So like that's the type of stuff Devontae is banking on. And granted, he is a master of it, but Puka's the number 1 option. He could score on a 50-yard touchdown depending on the play. So the fact the odds are so slanted Devontae's direction, I think there's a lot of value on Puka.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good play. Again, both those guys are going to be fantastic. I think if you want to take a Devontae prop, it's probably Devontae Adams anytime touchdown, but it's crazy that's sitting at minus 150 right now. I know anytime they go to the goal line, they're going to try to throw the ball to him, but eventually somebody's got to realize it, right?
Right, and Puka scored on a running play this year. Why not do something like that? Why not throw him a screen? There's so much more that you can do.
So I do like that with how crazy the odds are slanted towards Puka versus Devontae. But like it's just mind-blowing to me that Devontae's sitting at minus 150 anytime touchdown. Now, if you want to go Devontae, maybe you go first touchdown, last touchdown, late slant, something like that, plus 450, plus 650 to get there. But my touchdown prop here is going to be Emeka Egbuka plus 135 here. Again, Emeka Egbuka has been very inconsistent. I think he's only scored 1 time in his past 5 games. He is the favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. But when it comes down to it, Baker's got to throw the ball. That's the guy you got to get the ball to. So Emeka Egbuka plus 135. You want to take a risk, potentially go Tez Johnson there, but I think Ibuka's got to be the guy you come out and try to get the ball to, like force feed him the football, even when he's locked down, because he has been locked down. They've kind of not force fed him the ball. You got to just get a screen game, quick slant, something to get him involved and put the pressure on the defense.
Yeah, aside from the 2 props that I said, the Baker over, the Puka touchdown, I really don't have much in this game just because I do think there's going to be fireworks, and I don't want to take everybody's overs. Like there is going to be someone who underperforms, but I do think it's a relatively high-scoring game. Like we said, we got the Bucs covering in this game. They are a live dog. I wouldn't pick them to win, but I do think it's on the board.
Craziest movement, odds moving just week to week. Like Sean Tucker at one point, even without Bucky Irving, was like 5-1 to score a touchdown anytime. Now he's plus 170. So it's crazy what one big game will do for a guy.
Did you see his tweet after the last game, by the way?
No, what did he tweet?
So Sean Tucker was famous for when he was at Syracuse. Like he was I'll call him a fringe Heisman candidate for a while, like for the first 2 months of the season or so. And after every game, he would be like, it was just very robotic. It would be a picture of him, and he would say something to the effect of, I ran 14 times for 187 yards and 3 touchdowns, and I caught 1 pass for 16 yards and a touchdown in our 31-14 win over Louisville. I am very pleased with my performance. And you would get one of those after like every game. And so after last week, he tweeted, I am pleased. And I think he spelled it with the 44 for the jersey number in there. I'm pleased with my performance. So Sean Tucker tweets are something to watch for.
You know what, though, Sean? You didn't do enough. That's all I'll say. You didn't do enough. I hate that. Like, don't talk unless you win the damn game.
That's what he got criticized for a lot back at Syracuse. So I think he stopped doing it for a while, but every once in a while we still get him.
Yeah, you gotta win the game. That's the biggest thing. If you don't win the game, that's a problem. Talk all you want when you win, but when you're not winning, don't tweet. Simple as that. Anyways, last thing, shout out Baker having a baby boy. That's another thing. Baker they just announced they're having a boy. So gotta show up and win this game for the boy.
100%. You gotta win it for young Baker.
Yeah. All right, Grant, take us into the last game here. Probably the worst game on the slate, but take us into it.
Monday Night Football, big one here. Tanner hates the matchup, but it is actually pretty important because we got the Carolina Panthers going on the road to face the San Francisco 49ers. The Panthers might not track down the Bucs in the NFC South, but they do have a chance at the playoffs because they're only 1 game out of the 7th spot. who is the current 7th seed in the NFC? The San Francisco 49ers. So believe it or not, despite the 49ers being in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago and the Panthers having the first pick of the draft a couple of years ago, they are now fighting for the same position. Bryce Young coming off a career-defining 448-yard game, the third most passing yards in a game this NFL season. Meanwhile, Brock Purdy got back out there last weekend for the first time, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Got the 49ers favored by a touchdown at home. Tanner, how do we see this one unfolding?
Well, my first thing is, how is this game placed in primetime at the beginning of the season? Like, what did the odds makers look at the schedule or the schedule makers and say, hey, we want to put the Panthers and the 49ers in primetime? That's my first question. 7 points is a lot, I would say, like the way the Panthers can play. Sometimes they don't show up. Other times they do show up. When they do show up, they keep games competitive. I tend to lean towards the 49ers at home here. I think it's a tough spot for the Panthers. I don't think you can have Bryce Young just consistently bail you out week after week. And the 49ers got a little momentum right now. Brock Purdy comes back last week, looks pretty damn good. There's no quarterback debate in San Francisco. Like, Brock's better than Mac. Mac's a good backup, but Brock is better than Mac. Looked good last week. CMC is looking good. The defense is playing with some momentum right now. I'd probably lean towards potentially a first half bet with the 49ers, minus 3.5, but I'll lay 7. That's fine.
Yeah, I think that it could be a weird game. We saw the Panthers go on the road and upset the Packers as 13-point underdogs, and then they go home and they lose to Tyler Shuck in the Saints in his first start. So the Packers are kind of a mystery. I don't know what I'm going to get from them week to week. I do think this is a game that the 49ers are going to control more so than not. I don't think they're going to be chasing or anything. The question is just going to be, are they controlling in the sense that it's 7-7, then it's 14-7, then it's 21-7, or is it like the Panthers are always a touchdown behind, but they're still staying in it, trying to hunt for that last second touchdown to tie it up and we go to overtime?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It could be a backdoor cover from them, but I don't think they're going to be in the game necessarily.
Okay, should we go to player props here?
I think we should. Grant, you start us off here.
All right, I'm going to take Christian McCaffrey, and no, I'm not taking the minus 320 anytime touchdown score, whatever it is. Crazy that he's still at that, even though it's I remember when it was such a mind-blowing concept when he got those odds 3 years ago now, whenever it was, when he was scoring in every game. He's not even close to that level yet. The odds are still like they were back then. But I'm going to take McCaffrey over 17.5 rushing attempts, because this is you look at the 49ers, this is a team that wants to soften up their opponents. They want to wear you down in the middle, then they want to set up the play action shots off of that. McCaffrey's ability to facilitate the running game and the passing game is what makes him so valuable. He went under in his last 2 games, but we're kind of extenuating circumstances in both of those. I don't see this as a game where the Panthers are scoring 40 points and forcing the Niners to chase. Like we both said, we think the Niners are going to be controlling the game flow here. And that basically means they're going to be running the football with Christian McCaffrey. So I could see him getting 23 carries in this game, and 17.5 is a large number. Yeah, but not when you look at guys like him, like Saquon, like Josh Jacobs, they're going to get volume in every single game.
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, CMC's been fantastic this season. No other way to describe his performance. And he stayed healthy too. And that's something remember early in the season, it was CMC's got injuries, and then it goes to you better pick up what's his name, Brian Robinson in fantasy if you picked up CMC. CMC's been one of the most valuable fantasy players this year. So shout out CMC. I'm going to go Brock Purdy over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Keep it simple. Hit this last week. This is more of a parlay piece based on the odds right now. It's minus 170. So I don't want to, give that as a straight bet. But I would do, if you don't want to lay 7, for example, go Brock Purdy over 1.5 passing touchdowns, parlay that with the 49ers on the money line. You're getting that for, wait 1 second, parlay that 174. You're getting that minus 121. So if you don't want to lay 7, I think that's a good way to approach it. Brock Purdy overall this season obviously has not been on the field too much, but when he has been on the field, he has thrown for 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns. And that includes 2 games where he threw 2 interceptions in each matchup. So I think Purdy's going to have a big game here. Panthers are going to give up yards to the air. Drake May lit them up earlier in the season. Brock Purdy's going to do it again here.
On the Panthers side of things, I'll take Rico Dowdle as an anytime touchdown scorer. We know that he had those 2 massive games in the middle of the season where he went for like 400 yards over the span of 2 weeks. Now, he has been held under 3 yards per carry in both of his last 2 games, but that's not to say that his importance has been diminished because he actually got 18 and 19 carries in those 2 games. So he's still getting a high volume. Also, that was just the last 2 weeks. You go back 1 week before that, had 130 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Packers. So when I look at this, we see a guy who can be explosive. We see a guy who is important to his team. He's getting a high volume, and also he scored in 2 of the last 3 weeks. So there's a proof of concept that he can get into the end zone. Bryce Young, I don't think he's going to have 448 yards again, but I think he's as confident as he's been since he got to the NFL. I do think the Panthers are going to score at least 14 points. That means Dowdle's probably got a solid opportunity of running one in the end zone.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's a good play by you. My last pick here, I'm going to go with George Kittle over 54.5 receiving yards. You look at Brock Purdy, just how he targets George Kittle, like really values him as a wide receiver. He doesn't turn into a left tackle. Last week, coming off 6 catches, 67 yards. The week before that, obviously, Mac Jones getting the ball to him as well. 9 catches, 84 yards against the Rams. He's had 3 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks. The biggest thing that I look for, it's like Brock Purdy's two touchdown passes last week were to George Kittle. So it's like he looks to him as his safety valve. They try to get him involved more there. He is their leading receiver when Brock Purdy's playing quarterback, and he's got the highest receiving total of the week at 54.5 out of anybody on the 49ers. So I think it's a good spot for Purdy once again here. I don't think the Panthers have the options to stop him defensively.
My last one, I will take Ricky Pearsall under 42.5 receiving yards. Neither him or Jawan Jennings is good enough to have J.C. Horn travel and follow them, so they're going to be splitting responsibilities, and that kind of helps Pearsall, but then also kind of hurts him because if he's lined up on that side of the field, he's probably not getting the football. But basically, both those guys are going to be handicapped at different points of the game. Pearsall had a good start to the year. He actually went over this line in all 4 games to start the year. However, his return to the field, he caught 1 pass for 0 yards last weekend. I think the Niners' path to victory comes on the ground. We talked about it enough with McCaffrey controlling the game and stuff like that. They will not have to air this ball out, and if they do, there's a good chance it's going to Kittle, not Pearsall.
I like it. I like it, Grant. Well, it's our picks for the show.
I'm excited to see how they do. Like I said, like we both said, I hate missing the game pick, but I have been doing really good with props, even though it's not as fulfilling to me. So we'll see how it shakes out.
I need to give the people a parlay before.
Okay. Let's hear it. Division
winner parlay that I've been cooking up here, which is still crazy to me that I wanted to bring this up earlier, but it's still crazy to me that the Patriots right now are minus 450 to win their division. Like that's kind of crazy. That's like they should be minus 4,000 to win the division at this point, especially with the schedule they play. Joe Burrow is coming back this week. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. But all right. So Patriots minus 450, Ravens minus 260, and then throw in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers minus 650, minus 101.
Not bad.
Not bad. You like it?
I do like it.
What? Okay. So what would be the leg that loses there? The Ravens?
I would say the Ravens.
How about if you want to get cute, you could just throw the Denver Broncos in there for minus 115. Patriots, Buccaneers, Broncos. I worry about the Broncos down the stretch a little bit, though.
But the Broncos are only minus 115 to win?
No, they're minus two.
Oh, okay.
Total, but like gotcha. If you did Pats, Bucks, Broncos, minus 115.
I think I would go with that.
Rather than the Ravens.
Yeah. Even though I think the Ravens would beat the Broncos. Actually, I don't even know if I can say that anymore. I don't know. The Broncos, it's just tough. Their defense is so good. I think their defense guarantees they can win this division.
I mean, well, they also have what's the lead right now in the AFC?
They're like 9-2, right? I think it's a 2-game lead.
Yeah, 2-game lead. So it's a good spot. Good spot. I kind of like that. I'm feeling like that's a little juicy.
Yeah, I guess one of my favorite things that we do is we take these like weird, we do teasers, division winner parlays, miss the playoff parlays. My recent thing has been like wide receiver 3 overs. I did it with Troy Franklin. I cashed one on Thursday night with Jaden Higgins. I like those props that are more off the beaten path.
I mean, if you don't like the Ravens to win the division, though, for that other, like the Steelers right now are plus 240 with a lead in the division. Kind of crazy. I think the Ravens win that division pretty easily, though.
I think they will too, but I think the Broncos are more likely.
4-leg parlay plus 166. Bucks, Broncos, Patriots, Ravens. There it is.
How much is it? Do you know?
It's plus 166.
Plus 166. Okay.
Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. But anyways, guys, that was Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. Make sure you check out WSN.com. We're presented by WSN. Links down in the description below. So check that out. Grant, take us out of here.
Guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Ride the Line. Taylor and I appreciate you all being here. Make sure you do hit the like button and the subscribe button if you made it this far into the video. Also, check out WSN.com. And we will catch you all in the next episode of Ride the Line.